Most people think MMA fighters are brutal and, you know, barbaric or whatever, but I mean, today it's evolved a lot since like the older fight. I mean, a lot of people have only seen like the 1995, 1994 fights where it's been, you know, bare knuckle, just brutal. Today it's more professional. My first MMA fight was back in June of 2009.
Flyweight division, your referee in charge is Jay Estrada.
Yeah, Joey! Here you go, Joe! Woo! Yeah, Joe! Yeah, Joe, kick his ass, Joe! Come on, Joe! Woo! Yeah, Joey! Here you go, buddy! Get that! Go, rip it off! Rip it off! Rip it off, Joe! Get him, Joe! Let's go! My boy!
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 1 minute into the first round for your winner by way of Deppa due to rear naked choke from Team Curran, Joey the Real
That's for sure. This is one of those days that really make you wish you were back on the farm. Come on.
For myself, it was jiu-jitsu and MMA went hand in hand. So I always knew I wanted to compete and fight. I was the biggest UFC fan as a kid. I've watched every UFC fight there was. I remember going to Blockbuster Video, getting the VHSs and watching the old fights and seeing Royce Gracie and wanting to be a jiu-jitsu fighter. So I think those, for me, it's inseparable when I was younger. So that's how I knew I wanted to do jiu-jitsu forever, was to compete, to fight.
Overhand right, moves into a single leg, gets the takedown, does Mel, puts Diehl on his back.
Ooh, went to the wrong side. Went to the wrong side, though. Can get in trouble when you're on that side.
Back inside guard, is he stuck here? He is.
Probably change much of anything anyhow. Believe it or not, what you want, what you need is what you get. Believe it or not.
I always knew MMA was a goal, even as a little kid. And I started fighting very young. I was still in high school when I had my first MMA fight. And since then I've had over 30 fights, maybe 35 fights, amateur and professional. And I really didn't know that much, to be honest, about the sport of jiu-jitsu. I didn't even know the rules until a couple years ago, because I was always training jiu-jitsu for MMA. I really, honestly, you know, I'm a big fan of the evolution of the sport. So, of course, it started with like one martial art at a time, and then it became this hybrid sport where everyone trains everything. I really, you know, I wanted to be that growing up. You know, I wanted to be the guy who trained everything instead of just being, you know, one-dimensional. And I competed a little bit in jiu-jitsu, but as I got older and as I started my jiu-jitsu school, like the last 3.5 years, I've turned all my attention towards the sport of jiu-jitsu, and it's really cool to see how big it's gotten. I feel like it's, you know, the possibilities are just beginning. In the next couple of years, I think it'll be even bigger. So I really think my competitive focus right now is completely on the jiu-jitsu world. know, movement martial arts, the idea there, the desire for me to be able to put all of my passions together, instead of it just being a jiu-jitsu school. Even just from the martial arts side of it, we still train mixed martial arts, we still train striking, lots of wrestling. So instead of it just being a jiu-jitsu school that kind of puts us in a box and tells us what we are, I wanted it to be a little bit more inclusive for all the other things I like to do. And movement's a part of that. So movement in general, just think is a much more broad term for humans who need to do physical activity.
Any day could be your last in the jungle. Get murdered on the humble, guns will blast, niggas tumble. The corners is the hot spot full of mad criminals who don't care. Guzzling beers, we all stare at the out of towners. They better break north before we get the 4-pounders and take their face off. The streets is filled with undercovers, homicide chasing brothers. The D's on the roof trying to watch us and knock us and kill the coppers. Even come through in helicopters. I drink a little vodka, spark a L and hold a Glock for the fronters. Wanna be ill niggas and spot runners, thinking it can't happen till I trap them and clap them and leave them done. Won't even run about guards, I don't believe in none of that shit. The facts are backwards. Nas is a rebel of the street corner, pulling the check out.
If you start to get up a little bit,
Over the shoulder.
and now look, you see I control the leg. Now he goes a back step. And now you're in this.
I tried this so much in fucking when we were in Dallas. Like I put the guy in that, but it was so loose.
It's hard to get.
Yeah. I like grabbed his legs and put him in there, and I was so tired. I was like, I have to do this.
And then as you get sweaty, can I try one last time?
So now here, Joey, too, don't forget, you can switch to outside ashi at any moment, right? Because especially now he's holding your knee up. Yep. Exactly. Beautiful. You see it?
The first time I remember training with Joey, I've always been an avid YouTube jiu-jitsu guy, so I've always been studying a lot of stuff. And so one day I had watched some videos of Marcelo Garcia, and he was teaching the X guard. And I was like, man, I got a new weapon I'm gonna use on everybody. No one's gonna know this. I'm gonna know how to do this. And I went in that day and I rolled with Joey. I didn't really know who he was. And I rolled with him and I looked down and he had me in the X guard. And my brain was just like, how does this guy know this? So that was the first time I ever rolled with Joey.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
I'm Kyle Perkins. I train at RMMA, and I've been training jiu-jitsu for about 15 years.
Okay, Kyle Perkins. Go triangle. Right. Drop that is tight. That is getting tight, but he's doing a great job of stacking the old knee on stacking the hard, right. He's going the wrong way.
So I started in about 2009. I actually remember my first day was June 20th, 2009. It was the first day I started training. And I was working at Panera, and one of the guys I worked with, he trained every day with his dad, and he used to tell me, we jump rope for 10 minutes. It's really, really hard. And so he talked me into coming. I just got done playing football. I had really no team, no camaraderie, so it was a good thing for me to find. And now 15 years later, look where I'm at. So really fun. So this is like my mat area. This is every time we fucking kick holes in the walls over and over again. So, yeah. The walls, the mats, the walls and the mats on the wall was really not too necessary, but it was just like a fun thing. It made it look like a dojo down here. So, this was pretty cool. Me and my dad built this thing for like all my gis and stuff. So I got a bunch of them at the gym, but I feel like 30 gis stuffed in there. And I have like all my rash guards and stuff like that, shorts. All the goods. Got like pads and stuff, and katana I wanted to fight Naga one time, so
That's all my stuff in the house. These are all like medals from over the years. People usually don't keep their childish medals from Nagas, but I can hang them with my basement and feel proud of them. And then these are every time they made us like a fight to win poster from back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember Nolan used to train at the gym. Those are my fight to win posters. That's a citizens award. So I'll tell you, it's not a funny story, but a story about that. And then that's a certificate from my black belt. These are all my Buddhas. Well, let me tell you, I'll tell you a traumatizing story. This is one of my favorite Buddhas. All right, when I was in high school, the girls from the cheerleading team, they would come over once a year to your room and they would like decorate it for like homecoming for the football team, and they knocked over my Buddha and broke his hand off. Oh, I was so traumatized. Oh my goodness. It's probably why I have bad luck now. Oh yeah. It's okay. So then this. So this is my Citizens Award. Okay. So when I trained at another gym, one of our students, he had a heart attack on the mat, and so this happened while we were training. And so I was running the gym, so I ran over there. And I got like, I looked at him and I was like, this is not good. So I got like 2 of the firefighter paramedics over there. They came over and they started doing CPR on him. And then so I got someone else to like, call the fire department. And like I ran outside and I got the fire department to come in and stuff. And so they ended up saving Jim. And one of the cops that was there, he called, and he like said that we all helped with the situation, and we all ended up getting these citizens awards for it. And while he was giving a speech about what we all did, it was me and then the 2 firefighters that were doing CPR on the guy. And while he was giving the speech about us helping, the line that made everyone laugh in the speech was, he's like, and Kyle's task was he bravely waited outside for the firefighters to come and help. Like, yeah, I just stood there and didn't lie, but that was my contribution. So I'm a citizen. Also, those are my medals, and then so I competed once as a white belt. And then I broke my leg playing backyard football, so then I wasn't able to compete a lot. But then when I finally came back as a blue belt, ever since then I've just competed a ton. I probably had like 200 matches as a blue belt, and then as a purple belt, I actually started like logging all my matches. So I have like every single match that I've done since purple belt logged in this book. I keep it. And it's a really, really important thing to me. Who I competed against, when it was, the result of the match, how I won or lost, and all that type of stuff is really cool to see, like statistical analysis of like what moves you do more often than not. I remember like the first time I went back and looked, I was like, I never actually thought of knee bar people. I actually knee bar people every once in a while. So it's cool to see, variance in your game, and maybe see some things that you're doing wrong. Oh, I'm getting submitted here, or I'm losing this way. There's probably more information I could put in there, but yeah, for now, those are the things that I'm logging. All right. So this is my leg prayer. So this is the craziness. So this is where I was telling you guys about it. This is where it all started. So my mother bought us this for the family, and then over the years I started to go crazy. So if you're thinking about it like sectioned off, and I want to keep like building on it more, but you got like Luigi's Mansion, you got like the Water World, you got like a dead Bowser world, like the Ice World, Toad's Village, Peach's Castle. There's Luigi, I don't know why he's over here. Then like the Grass World, that'll be a Sky World eventually. The Desert, Swamp, Lava World, and then, that's kind of crazy, and then you got the Donkey Kong stuff over here too, which is pretty cool. And the cool thing with all this craziness, now I'd be a child if I came down here and actually did this all the time, but it's pretty cool. All this stuff does stuff, which is pretty impressive. And all these ones, so they have a Luigi, a Mario, and a Bowser, and they like turn on, and they like react with all these like RFID chips. So eventually when I have children, they'll have something fun to play with. So, and then I guess you can see this is eventually what I started to do, is I started to build and like organize all my different Legos. So I got color coordination and stuff. That's what my fun with. And then if you want to see, I was talking about I have all the extras. So these are all ones I haven't built that I gotta do. So boom, that'll be next one. Something I'll do fun. You can see me on the website one day.
Kind of like our high level professionals like myself and Kyle. We're black belts. We compete all the time.
Yeah, I always love competing. You know, everyone tells me I'm a dog. So, you know, you just get me out there and you tell me what we're doing and I'm ready to do it. So, yeah, competition is always a fun thing. One time I ripped my big toe off of my foot and actually completely broke off my foot, and I had to get it surgically put back on. But I mean, honestly, as crazy as that sounds, I think I stopped training for like 2 or 3 weeks. Put some shoes back on, you know, wrestling shoes, started training. So really not the worst thing in the world. I've had some knee injuries and stuff, but pretty flexible. So, you know, you kind of just keep training with that. I think that's the cool thing about jiu-jitsu is we're learning to defend ourselves, and you're not always going to be in the best shape defending yourself. So you learn to work around injuries, and it's actually teaching you to learn to adapt. So that's really a cool thing.
You know, the real part of it is we keep it honest with people, and sometimes it's not always pleasant when they first start. Because they think, you know, it's going to be easy, or they think it's going to be something that we're just going to spoon feed them. You know, the reality is sometimes you got to be kind of pushed, especially with movement, especially with martial arts, to see, okay, you have a lot of work to do. And that's what's real about it.
No matter how it goes, I'm always going to want to do it. You know, we've had some talks about, you know, sometimes you have some tough losses and people will say like, you know, it's a little bit discouraging. Nothing's ever discouraging for me. You know, it can be a little disappointing sometimes, but I'm always going to want to compete until my body breaks down a little bit, and then I'm probably still going to want to compete after that. So.
You should have just laughed. That was it. You did a crazy woman. My house said what? There's a prowler outside my house.
You know, we came here to Bartlett from Crystal Lake, and we only had 4 people. It was myself and 3 really close students. We came here and we started our program, and we had some other local schools that were leaving, and we got some of our students from there. So we made a small group, probably 15 people at most, and from there we've grown. Now we're about 200 members over the last 3 years. And it's been a slow process. At times it feels very slow, like a snowball effect of like one person tells another person, and because we do nothing, we don't do any advertisement, we don't even have a sign on the building, we just have a mat.
So when Joey opened the gym, I was always, you know, helping in the background, always coming over, trying to train here as much as possible. If Joey needed help teaching classes, I would help out. I helped out a lot with the build out of the gym. You know, we did a lot of work here building the place. You know, nobody more than Joey, but you know, trying to help out in the back. But then in the past few months, I've made the jump over to training here full time. So it's been an awesome experience.
From 2021 to now 2024, the growth has been, you know, like I said, at times slow, but consistent. I look forward to the next 2-3 years. I think we're just starting now. I feel like it's this is like our first year.
Don't mess around. Mess around.
Easy, big fella.
Easy, kid.
Give me let me tell you something. Yeah.
I have a gold medal. I have a gold medal.
That was nice. Did you get
Get this part. Jesus. Get this part.
there? I mean, it is distraction.
Your elbow fucked up?
Watching
This is a little sign-up sheet for September. So this is like our first big tournament I want us to do. So if you guys want to put it up anywhere at your school, just so you have it, and then you can have people write down. They don't have to sign up right away, but then you have like a. Even if you just tell people they're interested, tell them to write their name.
Just part of their membership. You got it.
Yeah. Fire by contest. Remember, we have like our integration week. We should try, if we can, meet up. Of course, if you guys are busy and stuff, it's no big deal. But I think it's important that we consistently try to like check on curriculum. You know, we just finished. For us, it was all chest to chest pinning, side control, mount, all the transitions between them, a bunch of submissions. During our classes, we're playing those games as part of the training, and then also tying it to other stuff. You know, so I just wanted to check in with you guys and see how classes were going. I know you're saying a lot of people were gone because of Fargo and stuff.
Yeah.
And I know classes are still new.
Yeah.
But if you're getting some adults, you know, in your classes.
Possibly 2 that are gonna join.
Nice,
So.
cool. And I know you're doing kids and stuff. We can always, for right now, we'll talk all about adult programs.
Yeah.
And, you know, and your wrestling program is like your kids program right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we can always talk, you know, if we have anything we can help with that, we can still talk about it.
I understand that you don't understand why you would be here.
Yeah.
But that's kind of why you're here, is that you will end up in
And
this
if you
situation.
do a good enough job with your verbals, it'll make sense to them. They'll start understanding like where this fits into the overall arch of fighting.
Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah.
You'll start to like, and hopefully, you know, as they stick around, then it starts really like, you get people in that groove where they trust you a little bit, and they trust where it's heading. It's the more advanced people that you have to actually tame, because they can't help themselves. They'll start going for like a guillotine or something. Like, no, don't do that. You're just trying to hold. I want you to just get familiar with it. So we do a round of that. Then after that, now we add an element for the top player. So now the bottom player, you're gonna still try to escape, and you don't have to know anything. Just know you got to try to get your legs around them or try to get up.
Very basic.
I don't need it to be fancy or anything. It's just, we don't even want to use jiu-jitsu terms.
So some of the things that come our warm up, I guess, for the games that we've been doing, from the front headlock position, we've been working a lot on drags.
Okay.
So drags for like go behinds, and then the other part of that is front headlock, getting not hands to the mat but elbows to the mat. Cool. And then we're focusing on drags.
You play the games and you see if people are doing that or not.
Right.
Right? And I'm sure the kids who you work with all the time are going to do they will naturally, because they've been training with you, are going to do what you're going to be teaching. So now you just reinforce that, maybe add some more to it if you can.
Yeah.
But then you also see who hasn't maybe learned from you, or who hasn't really been exposed to what you believe is a good technique. Right? So like week 3, you guys will feel very like that lesson is going to be awesome for you, because it's all your shit that you're doing in wrestling. But now from a jiu-jitsu perspective, if you just add the awareness of where submissions come in, because that's the only thing that changes.
Right.
Is that the bottom player is not going to be trying to get up all the time. Vegas, we have that in 3 weeks.
Yep.
Jay, me, who else? We have like 10 people going for that. And then, it's kind of really good. And then this will be the next big team thing. So if you guys can just start mentioning it to people. Then after that, October, I'll be going to Kazakhstan in the beginning.
Yep.
October 10th. September,
Chicago ADCC.
Yeah, September 21st for that one. I want to try to get like one tournament a month that like we're kind of to December. That way if anyone wants to compete, kind of have something you can point them towards. As of late, we shifted our focus last maybe 2 years to jiu-jitsu tournaments. The first major tournament that we brought a whole team to was ADCC Chicago. And that was last September. We ended up as a small team taking 3rd overall. And it was mostly a bunch of hobbyists and guys who, they have jobs, and they just showed up and did a tournament, some for the first time. And we did really well, lots of medals, lots of places. That was our first time really putting a team together and enjoying it so much. Since then, we've won so many tournaments. We have lots of first places for overall. Our team focus on training is for the ADCC Open in Vegas. So we have a team of, I think, 10 to 11 people. I think we're only maybe 4 weeks away, maybe less, 3 weeks. And then September, they're gonna be back in Chicago. So we look at this almost like practice, you know, and this is just how it goes. Every tournament is practice for the next one. We definitely, this next 3 months are gonna be jam-packed and non-stop. But that's nothing new for us because every single month for the last 3 years, we've had something going on. Whenever we try to get a group of people, we do well. And that's kind of the goal as I look at the future. If anyone who wants to compete, I want them to think of it as they're not doing it alone. Instead of just going to one tournament with one person, I want a whole team of people to go. And that's where we've kind of focused the last year or so. You know, and I feel like that's how you get better, is the consistency of training. Instead of looking at it as one tournament coming up and you're done, you know, there is no end in sight. It just keeps going.
Who knows if these juice monkeys can hang, you know? I'm like this naturally.
It's still real deal Army, motherfucker.